Hey everyone, this is Nakshan, and welcome to the Scatter Hoard, where we try to put complicated ideas in a nutshell. In part one of this two-part series on existentialism, we discussed that, for the existentialist philosophers, there is no God, no spirit that balances matter. Human consciousness is seen as rooted in biology, and there is nothing else. Existence is just an accident, and if it has any meaning, it is only created through the effort of the individual. They saw these insights as liberating, but it has led many others to feelings of dread and angst, the existential crisis. In part two, we'll explore how those of us who do not automatically experience this liberation can possibly achieve it, without refuting the existentialist perspective. The existentialists were at war with conventionality, but not with wonder. While Nietzsche famously declared that God is dead, he was also filled with an overwhelming sense of awe at the universe he traversed. The old man in the clouds was certainly dead. In fact, he was never truly alive. But the God of the experienced moment, if you choose to call it that, was very much alive to Nietzsche. A vignette demonstrates this point. An old Jew once told a Hasidic Rebbe that he was an atheist. The Rebbe smiled and replied, "The God you don't believe in, I don't believe in either." The existentialists trusted in the power of insight to break the shackles of conventional morality. That if we authentically see who we are, both the good and the bad, and recognize our true place in the universe, it will naturally lead to a fundamentally new perspective and an ability to choose and create a life free from the contaminating influences of shallow culture. In this way, they were similar to Freud, who believed that revealing the secrets of a person's repressed memories and unconscious desires would automatically free that person from debilitating neuroses. But for many of us, this is just not the case. While insight into our complete selves with all our conflicting drives and desires may be the necessary first step, it doesn't get us across the finish line. So, do we need to give up on the existentialist perspective if we don't have an intense enough reaction? No, far from it. But we do need to refine ourselves so we can experience the sense of wonder and awe that such an enormous insight can, or should, inspire. Because unfortunately, a sense of wonder triggered by anything is a state closed off to many of us. This is a bigger issue than just a meh reaction to existentialism. Activities that reignite our ability to experience wide-eyed astonishment need to be practiced over time before wonder can be stimulated by a reading of the existentialist philosophers. For instance, childhood or historical trauma can shut down undiluted thoughts and perceptions because it just feels too dangerous to fully open oneself up, thus creating a constricted and gray point of view. Also, some cultures demand that adults maintain a constant stoic facade, and it takes truly momentous events to crack their hard exteriors and allow the light of befuddled wonderment to seep in. Feeling safe is a precondition for an experience of wonder and awe. It's impossible to open ourselves up to amazement while at the same time protecting our own vulnerability. Find a safe place, a safe moment, safe friends. It doesn't have to be inside a vault. You can feel wonder and joy while scaling a sheer rock face, but not if you're worried about your gear. Get what's under your control in place and then let go to the experience. There are an infinite number of other doorways into wonder. Immerse yourself in a natural environment. Sing in harmony with another person. Connect with a toddler at play. Open all your senses. Breathe deeply and steadily. Take in both the wide scope and the fine details of the scene. Lose yourself in the integrated oneness of everything around you. But for some of us, this is not going to come quickly or easily. In fact, sometimes it's really hard, and that's okay. Have you ever watched a baby bird break out of its shell? It's kind of heart-wrenching. It takes a really long time. The poor thing is trying so hard and not getting very far. We're left wondering if we should help it along just a bit. Bad thought. First, we don't know if it has absorbed all the yolk yet. If not, it won't have the energy it needs for sustained life. Also, the struggle strengthens its muscles and fully activates its respiratory system, getting it ready for the outside world. The process of hatching from an egg starts with a tiny hole that we can't see but allows air into the shell. This is called the pip. Then the hole gets a little bigger as the chick taps at it with its beak tooth, which is a hard projection on its beak. This tool falls off after the bird hatches. Now we can see inside. As the process moves at the stately pace of a glacier, a small crack will sooner or later develop in the shell. The bird works at this line of structural vulnerability until it becomes the zip, as in zipper. Finally, the bird will then stretch its entire body to crack the barrier and push out of the shell. Whew! This is the kind of plowing the field that we must do to get ready to read the Existentialists. It's not about understanding the concepts. Rather, it's about being moved by the enormity of the implications. We need this kind of reaction if we want to feel the wonder and awe needed to drive an intense, committed life freed from conventionality and liberated from self-delusion. Existentialism then becomes a ringing call to a vibrant existence rather than a slog through a meaningless life. We'll see you next time.